this is me, traveling over 24 hours and 10,000 miles, all the way across the world, from my home country in England to the sunny beaches of Australia, all just to eat some cake. But this isn't just any cake. This is a Lamington, and I have never had one. But that's all about to change. If you aren't Australian, you might not have even heard of a Lamington. Allow me to fill you in. Picture this: a fluffy cube of sponge cake dipped in chocolate, rolled in coconut, and sometimes, if you're feeling dangerous, even filled with jam. They might sound simple, but in Australia, they're nothing short of iconic. England has scones, Americans have apple pies, and Australians have the Lamington. As someone who loves to travel, I know that the best way to try an authentic dish is to actually go there yourself. And to be honest, I've never actually seen a Lamington in the UK. We've stolen entire museums worth of treasures from around the world, and yet somehow we can't smuggle a simple cake across the border. So, armed with nothing but an insatiable desire for sugar, I decided I need to know what makes this cake so good that it's earned its own day of national celebration. My flight leaves in a few hours, so I should probably start packing. So I packed my bags, only the essentials, boarded my plane, realized I'd boarded the wrong plane and ended up in South Korea for a few days, boarded another plane, and after over 24 hours of me trying and failing to fall asleep in economy, I had arrived. In my sleep-deprived state, I thought I'd gone straight back to London after being greeted by a giant W.H. Smith in Sydney Airport. But no, I had arrived. I just landed in Sydney, Australia, but I'm not going sightseeing. Like any normal person, the first thing I need to do is track down some cake. Ideally, lots of it. Because I didn't come all this way just to try one Lamington. That would be silly. I came all this way to try all of the Lamingtons. Artisan, supermarket, chocolate flavour, covered in sprinkles. I raced around Sydney buying literally every single Lamington I could get my hands on. I may have taken this too far. It's finally time for me to try a hopefully delicious Lamington for the first time. But since I got too excited and bought up Sydney's entire supply of cakes, I'll also be rating each one to find the king of all Lamingtons and crown the winner worthy of flying 10,000 miles for. I'm going to score each Lamington on 3 categories. Fluffiness, because according to the internet, Lamingtons are supposed to be fluffy. Flavor, because I bought an assortment of different flavors, and they really should taste like what they say they will. And snack enjoyability. How satisfying are they to eat, and how low will my willpower be looking at the rest of the packet? Each of these categories has a maximum score of 5, meaning the perfect Lamington will score 15, and the worst Lamington of all time would score a 0. But enough with the yapping. My patience is wearing thin. I've travelled over 10,000 miles, lost 2 full nights sleep in economy, and walked all over Sydney buying every Lamington I could get my hands on. It's finally time to taste my first Lamington. I sure hope this was all worth it. Starting with the OG Lamington from Woolies. Cheers. It's really good. It's fluffy, the flavours are well balanced. The texture is so good. The OG Lamington from Woolies gets a 4 on the fluffiness scale, a 4 on the taste scale because it's pretty basic, but it does taste good, and a 4 for snack enjoyability. Now let's try one with jam in. Still quite fluffy, a bit drier than the first one, and there really isn't very much jam inside, but the addition of the jam is fun. The jam Lamington from Woolies scores 3 out of 5 for fluffiness, 3 out of 5 for flavour, and a 2 out of 5 for enjoyability. It's just a bit too dry. Next I'm moving on to a Lamington that really appeals to the inner child in me. The Funfetti Glamington from Greens. These are all pre-packaged Lamingtons so far, and they hold up kind of surprisingly well for a pre-packaged cake. But I did go to a special shop to buy some more artisanal Lamingtons as well, so we'll see how those compare. Definitely a fun take. I do really like the hundreds of thousands on the outside. It adds a really fun crunch, but the inside of the cake is still pretty basic. It's just a plain vanilla sponge. And I don't think there's any chocolate at all on these Lamingtons. The Greens Funfetti Lamingtons get a 3 out of 5 on the fluffiness scale. They're a little on the dry side and a little bit dense. A 3 out of 5 for flavor. They're a little bit on the plain side, but the addition of the Funfetti on the outside does have a pleasant sweetness. And a 4 out of 5 for snack enjoyability, because the Funfetti really puts the fun in Funfetti. Last up for the pre-packaged Lamingtons, I have the Greens Deluxe Triple Chocolate Lamington. Surely more chocolate should shoot this one up the scoreboard. This one has a chocolate cake base instead of vanilla, so immediately there's some bonus points there for that one. There's also an addition of some kind of chocolate buttercream instead of just plain cream, which is really nice. And it's doing a lot to counteract some of the dryness of the pre-packaged sponge. For fluffiness, the chocolate Lamington gets a 4 out of 5. It's not too dry and it's not too dense. For flavor, it gets a 4 out of 5 as well. The chocolate is really taking it up a notch. And for overall fun, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. It's pretty good, but I feel like we can do better. Next up, I went to Tokyo Lamington to score some artisanal Lamingtons. They were pretty highly rated on Google, and when I went looking for recommendations, this place came up over and over. So I figured I had to try it, starting with the original Lamington. These ones are much harder to pick up. They're bigger, they don't feel too dense, but they're definitely weighty, and they kind of feel like they might fall apart, which I think might be a good sign for how fluffy they might be. Cheers. Wow. That is so good. I might have just unlocked a new favorite food. With a bite of that Lamington, I was taken to another realm, the cake realm, and I like it there. It's so light and fluffy. The flavor is so good. There's a lot more jam in that one, and it's an experience, and one that I would recommend. The Tokyo Lamington Original Lamington scores a 5 out of 5 on the fluffiness scale, 4.5 out of 5 for flavor, because it is good, but vanilla and jam aren't my favorite flavors, and a 4.5 out of 5 on the snack satisfaction scale. All the ingredients blend so well together and make it such an enjoyable experience to eat. These will not last long after this video. The rest of these Tokyo Lamingtons better watch out. Next up, I also got a Funfetti flavor from Tokyo Lamington. This one was called Fairy Bread in the shop, named after another iconic Australian snack that I'll be trying very soon. The sprinkles are really packed on, and again, it feels like I might be in trouble. Feels like I might fall apart. I actually lack words. There's a really good thick layer of sprinkles on the outside. You're definitely not missing the fact that this is a fairy bread flavored Lamington. The sprinkles are also still nice and hard and crunchy. They've not gotten soggy from being on the cake for too long, whereas the pre-packaged one, they were definitely a little on the softer side. So it's a really satisfying crunchiness, and it's filled with a sort of cream that is kind of buttery, so it does taste like what I would imagine fairy bread tastes like, which, if you're unfamiliar, is a piece of bread with butter and then sprinkled with hundreds of thousands. So the cream is kind of like this satisfying, creamy, buttery, salty thing, and I want more. It's so good. The Tokyo Lamington Fairy Bread Lamington gets a 5 out of 5 on the fluffiness scale. It literally could not be fluffier. That cream is so light and delicate. A 5 out of 5 on the flavor scale, and a 5 out of 5 on snack enjoyability. As long as you don't mind all those hundreds of thousands falling on your floor. Because they will. I still have one more Lamington to try, although I'm not sure there's much point. We'll see if this one can break even my own scale. Last up, also from Tokyo Lamington, we have their Black Forest flavor Lamington. It's so gooey, I can barely even pick it up. Cheers. It's really soft and really moist. It's almost wet, honestly, but not in a bad way, just in like a delicious puddingy way. There's actual pieces of cherry on the inside with the cream, and it's chocolate sponge the whole way through. Overall, a delightful experience. And one of my favorite flavors. For fluffiness, I'd give this a 5 out of 5. For flavor, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. And for overall snack experience, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. Just because it's a little on the softer side, and I really enjoyed the fluffiness of the Fairy Bread Lamington. I have consumed so many Lamingtons that my body is roughly 60% coconut at this point, and I'm still fighting off some pretty severe jet lag. But the results are in. This is the Lamington that made all of those hours of suffering in economy worth it. Even that moment a stranger took a nap on my shoulder. If we just do some quick maths, the Tokyo Lamington Fairy Bread Lamington. Scoring a perfect 15 on my totally arbitrary scoring system, I would definitely fly 10,000 miles for another one of these. If you're Australian, I get it now. I understand the hype. And I 100% approve. I travelled all the way to Australia for one of their most iconic desserts. And in the end, it wasn't just about the cake. It was about trying something new, exploring a new city, and learning something about myself. Like the fact that I have the self-control of a toddler in a sweet shop. Now, if you will excuse me, I need to go lie down, because I'm about to have the worst sugar crash of my life.